Hear me?
I can hear you. We're live. Polls are closed.
Polls. Officially, the polls on election night. It's a final night. And where I am really quick, and then tell everybody where you are. I'm currently at the Inn of Saratoga with One Saratoga, and I gotta say, there's easily like 100 people here. So it's an exciting night.
Yeah. Hey. So, Robin, real quick, this might be part of the live coverage, but you're jumping. You're buffering a little bit. We get the gist of what you're saying, but I am at the Thirsty Owl. I'm at the Republican Party here. Not quite as many people as the One Saratoga event. There's maybe 20 or 30 people here, but polls are closed and people are excited for the results to come in.
Yeah. And
I'm still battling the cold.
Dan will also be joining us shortly. If the audio is glitchy, super noisy in here. Yeah, so live show.
Yeah. All right. So, Robin, you made your predictions.
Let's talk about these numbers coming up. So here's the election district map. We have 25 elections, and numbers from each district from people who are at the polling sites waiting for the polling machines to spit out, how many ballots will be cast for who. And so as the results start to trickle, we can talk actually maybe right now about some of the key indicators. Like Adam, for example, which is 19 districts, 21, 19. That's a typical Republican that area. So when we start seeing numbers, I would expect to see a bit of a Republican advantage there. Similar inner city districts, there's typically they lean more Democrat. So the person, they'll kind of be easy predictors of how the night. Oh, and we have Dan. Dan, can you hear me?
Hi there. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I'm in a very noisy, very dark parting glass right now. There's more and more people filtering in. There's a lot of familiar faces here, of course. And but I am right near a screen where the results are going to come in on, so I should be able to have them from this end in a timely manner. But it's very noisy in here, and I cannot hear you guys too well, but I will do my best.
Yeah, we're all in very noisy house right now, except maybe. So apologies for watching for the background, but like we said, live podcast, just the way people are amped for these folks. So, and also I've been, buddy.
Oh yeah, I was going to say we have Dan who can't hear us. We have Robin who's it's a little difficult hearing you, but again, that's the fun of live politics. But the polls are now closed, so we're waiting for results. Dan, Robin, and I are both in a position to get results too. So if you are if it becomes too much of an impediment for you to sit where you are to relay results, then you can rely on Robin and I. But I think between the three of us at the three different campaign sites getting results, we'll have them as quickly as they're being announced.
Yeah. What is it?
I caught most of that. Sorry about that.
No problem.
To be really interesting to see what because I've been hearing kind of throughout the day that districts out were experiencing a heavier.
Robin, it's very hard to follow you right now.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pull myself out and come back.
Yeah, or maybe try without your headphones.
shoot that while I pull myself out.
All right. All right. So we expect results to be coming soon, maybe in the next 10 minutes. It's interesting. There's a map there. In Saratoga, there's 25 different voting districts. Each voting district is a certain geography, a certain part of the Saratoga, but you start to get trends by the voting districts. For instance, Skidmore last year is a voting district. 100 votes came in. All right, there goes Robin. Skidmore, 100 votes came in. 99 were for the Democrat. 1 was for the Republican. So that district doesn't really tell you much, but you have districts that are like the Eastern Plateau that tend to skew Republican. You have inner city districts that tend to skew Democrat. And we will be analyzing each district as they come in, comparing them to how they came in last year, and starting to give some analysis as what this means for the candidates. As you know, for mayor, we have Republican John Safford. He's running against Chris Matheson, who's running on the One Saratoga line, and Ron Kim, who's running as Republican. Robin, you're back.
I'm back. I'm doing my best here, folks.
Yeah, Robin,
as they come to me, I will give them to you. I'm back. So I tried to do this without headphones, and I actually was so annoyed being here that I couldn't hear anything you guys were saying.
Well, the good news is I can hear you. You're much clearer now.
Oh, good. Great. Awesome.
Yeah.
So where were you? I think I was talking about turnout. What were you talking about?
Well, I was giving a run through the candidates. I went through the 3 candidates for mayor. And then the other interesting race is public safety. Oh, great. You have a ballot there.
I do. I have the ballot at the ready. These ballots are always kind of a little hot mess to follow. But yeah, the races we're looking at are the mayoral race, the public safety race, and then supervisor. And we have 3 candidates running for mayor: Chris Matheson, Ron Kim, and John Stafford. And we have 3 people running for supervisor: Gordon Boyd, Michelle Madigan, and Matt Steve. And then we have 3 people running for public safety: Tim Cole, Jim Montemino, and Kristen Dart. So it's going to be really interesting. These are all kind of triple headers.
Yeah, and one thing being a numbers guy is I have a spreadsheet now which runs a lot of analytics that will compare, again, like I said, each voting district to last year. One of the interesting things that we're going to compare is you have a candidate, Kristen Dart, running for public safety as an independent. We're going to be comparing her performance last year versus Angela Rella. Angela Rella is the deputy mayor. She ran as an independent. She had a lot of grassroots support. She got 1,100 votes, wasn't enough to win. We are expecting Kristen to do, we think, slightly better than Angela, not necessarily the 3,500 or 4,000 votes that are needed to win. But it's going to be interesting to see how well that Kristen does with all the support she got from the current commissioners.
Exactly. Because, I mean, in a sense, the 4 people on the city council are kind of trying to play kingmaker. They've decided that Kristen Dart is the candidate they want as public safety commissioner, and they've really pulled out all the stuff to get that message.
Yeah, and the other race with Chris Matheson as an independent candidate, we're going to be comparing his performance too against Angela Rella last year. Again, I think it's going to be tough for those candidates to be in a position to win, but it's you don't know, and every voter has a vote, as they say. So we'll see how they come in.
Dan,
I'm back. I'm outside. I'm looking the lovely Lake Avenue. That's about the only place I can get some quiet and so forth. But I'm going to have to go back in order to get numbers. And I know you guys have access to numbers as well. But hopefully between the 3 of us, we can piece them together and get them out there. So I'm going to be with you, but maybe not as talking too much to you guys until I really have something to tell you.
That's great. Hey, Dan, can you confirm whether Jim Montemino is there? We don't think so. And whether Kristen Dart is there? We think so. Have you seen either of those 2 candidates?
No, but there are 2 rooms going on. The one was more crowded and I was more focused on finding a spot to talk. Kristen, certainly here in spirit. I saw some of these on the table. I have to believe she's here, but I didn't get too far in the other room. I found the people that were getting the numbers, and those are the ones that I stayed near.
Dan, if you need a break, walk halfway up the block. You can sit on my porch for a little while.
You kidding me? I'm at the partying glass. Who would need a break? I got a full bar here, all sorts of drinks.
Dan, do you want to make any predictions? I didn't want to make any predictions before the elections, but I think for mayor, I see Mayor Kim pulling this out. I just don't see Mathieson stealing enough Democrat votes to get Safford over the top. What do you guys think?
I agree with you. The Republicans, I've never seen the Republicans in all their apparatus, county, state, even Elise Stefanik, pull out all the stops. They thought they smelled blood in the water, and they really went after Mayor Kim, and they put a lot of resources into the Stafford campaign. I'm probably similar with you. I really like John Safford. I think he's an awesome guy. He's from Buffalo. Of course, why wouldn't I like him? But there's a lot of things I like to John Safford. I do see, Mayor Kim, despite his flaws, and they're significant, but he's being a Democrat in the city. And Robin, you pointed out a while back, he does have a record to run on. He did accomplish some things. I think at the end of the night, he gets a second term.
I will say, I do think that over the last couple of years, this is probably the best opportunity for Republican mayoral candidates to go and win. And so I do think there's an outside chance that John could pull it off. If Kristen Mathieson pulls enough votes away from Ron Kim on One Saratoga line. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see really how this One Saratoga line affects all three of the races. Because it's kind of a new element that could put the Republicans who typically have a significant enrollment disadvantage. It could help put them over the top. So again, I think likely Ron Kim will be reelected, but I do think that John Safford has a decent outside.
Let's talk about supervisor for a minute, because that's an interesting race. You have three candidates vying for two positions. You have a Republican incumbent, Matt Veach, who's been there for a long time. You have Michelle Madigan, who is a Democrat, wasn't endorsed by the Democratic Party, but running on a Democratic line. And then you have Gordon Boyd running with the endorsements of the Democrats. They only chose to endorse one candidate this year. I see Michelle Madigan winning that pretty handily, mainly because I thought she ran a great campaign, but also just her position on the ballot. She's the one in the middle, right? So when people are voting for two, they're going to vote for the left in the middle or the right in the middle. Most people don't vote for the left and the right. So I see Michelle winning that, and I think it'll be close between Gordon and Veach. I think it will be a tough race, but again, this is why we vote.
I have to say, as I will fully disclose, I'm on Michelle Madigan's campaign team, so of course I'm very biased in how I saw the campaign season play out for the supervisor race. But what I think most people would not have expected is that Gordon Boyd, the Democrat, has been very aggressive about attacking Michelle Madigan, the other Democrat, as opposed to going after the Republican, who's also running. And I think that's an interesting and somewhat strange dynamic, to see the two Democrats, Gordon is so aggressive with the other Democrats.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. And I have to say, I've talked about how perplexed I was by this. Michelle Madigan won 8 elections in a row on the Democratic line. The Democrats primaried her. They didn't endorse her for this race. Instead, they seem to support the Republican over her, and I don't see that. The only thing I can think of is egos, right? Like what's in her record that they would not endorse her or support her, and not only that, would actually support a Republican over her. Was again, I think the Democrats in this city has shown they could be their own worst enemy, and I purely think that's an ego play. I would love to hear from somebody if I'm wrong, but it just seemed ridiculous to me. And
It was personalities and dislike of her. Basically, had nothing to do with her record. She had a very solid record and a proven vote getter. But I think it was personalities and maybe petty political fights, right, Adam? And then Robin.
Yes. By the way, I'm getting some numbers from.
I'm going to go back inside. I'm going to go off while you're.
Okay, all right, Dan.
Okay.
All right, from where?
District 14.
Okay,
So
what do you got?
14. I'm literally getting the numbers right now. It looks like Madigan outperformed Boyd in that district, but just give me a minute while I get the exact numbers. 1 second. Sorry, folks. This is a little chaotic over here.
Yeah.
14 is kind of an odd district, right? I guess
It's a pretty heavily Democratic district. I can tell you what the results were last year.
I mean.
So here's the between 14. So last year, I'm looking at actually the public safety last year, or 2 years ago. Where Domino had 253 votes.
Dan, mute yourself.
Versus Tracy LaBelle's 172. So District 14 in 2021 again went to Jim Monino, 253 votes to 172 of Tracy LaBelle. So it is a Democratic leaning district, and hopefully I can get the actual numbers to you guys. One second. Sorry, 1 second. Adam, I'm going to put up our crunching numbers graphic so I can go grab the exact numbers and be right back, okay?
All right. Yep.
Do you have any numbers?
I don't know. All we know is we're getting numbers from Mike and Andy. They thought you were going to be doing the numbers. They're so confused.
Hey, Adam, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So, sorry, that's me. Hold on. There we go. Still waiting for the breakdown in District 14. I don't know that anyone's gotten exact numbers just yet. Basically, how this works, you guys, is that people are at the polling places, and all the polling machines spit out the results, and then people run those numbers back to either the One Saratoga group, or where the Republicans are, or where the Dems are, So we are just waiting for those numbers to come back to us, and we will give them to you guys, and hopefully it'll give us some indication of how the night's going to go.
Yeah, so the
Sorry, go ahead, Adam.
I was just explaining what you said, where each the Republicans and Democrats and One Saratoga have poll watchers there. They kind of hover over the volunteers who spit out the numbers. A lot of times there's multiple machines, so the poll watchers have to take the multiple machines, and there's multiple lines. So you might have 2 machines at a polling place, and you might have a candidate, say Michelle Madigan, who has the One Saratoga line and the Democratic line. So they have to add up each vote for in each machine and each line. So it's simple in normal times when you're sitting down, but in the high pressure, high stakes election world, it can get very chaotic, if you will.
Yeah, it can get very chaotic. It absolutely can. So I just want to talk about turnout again. I have the turnout from the last couple of years. In 2021, we had almost 9,000 ballots cast. 2019, 7370, and then 2017 there's just over 9,000 ballots cast. And I think I would predict, if I was going to make a prediction, that there's probably going to be lower turnout in this election cycle simply because of the lack of contested races. Okay, hold on. Adam,
Yep.
stand by.
All right. All right. Apparently, Robin is getting in results right now. Again, when they come, they're going to come fast and furious. We'll do our best to get them in the computer and get them up for you. But right now, it sounds like some results are coming in. I'm sitting at the Republican Party at the Thirsty Owl, and I'm looking at the Republican chair. There's some people in there talking to him. The way this is supposed to work, and we'll see, is the poll runners will go to the Republican chair, give him the numbers, and he is going to keep the official tally. Then hopefully they'll come to me and give me numbers. But again, we're waiting to see how this goes. So anyway, thank you everybody again for tuning in. This was something we are doing because for political geeks like us, we're constantly refreshing the Daily Gazette's Twitter feed to see if they're putting up results, going to local news channels, seeing if they have local results, but really nobody was there on the ground. So, Robin, you're back. What do you got?
I'm back. Okay, let's see. I do have some numbers here. So, okay, 4 polling stations have reported out of 25. And the supervisor race, they have Matt Beach with 38.2% of the vote, Michelle Madigan with 32.3% of the vote, and Gordon Boyd with 29.5% of the vote. For mayor, they have John Safford with 45% of the vote, Ron Kim with 34% of the vote, and Matisse with 20% of the vote. And then for the public safety race, again, this is 4 polling sites out of 25 reporting. Tim Cole has 53% of the vote, Kristen Dart has 26% of the vote, and Jim Montenegro has 20% of the vote. So that's what I'm going to try to pick up.
And that's
but that's what I'm seeing so far.
From 4 different, and that's 4 different places.
Yes, that's 4 out of 25. That's correct.
Well, you got them. That sounds like good news for the Republicans, right? I mean,
yes, it does. It absolutely does.
You have Safford winning. You have Kristen Dart is really putting up numbers, huh?
20% with. Hold on, I'm going to throw this up on the screen. 1 second. So I remember to look at what I'm looking for. 1 second. Sorry, give me 1 second. Adam, we need an IT person. I need a producer.
I know. Hold on 1 moment.
One sec, guys. We are frantically trying to upload some of these numbers for you. As I was mentioning, 4 out of 25 districts have reported. That's 1,856 votes cast. And as of now, the supervisor race, 38.2% going to Matt Beach, 32% going to Michelle Madigan, 29.3% going to Gordon Boyd. In the mayoral race, oh man.
All right, but just keep reading it off. This is great, Robin. Keep reading it off.
Yeah. So for the mayoral race, and again, this is 4 out of 25 districts reporting. John Safford has 45.6% of the vote. Ron Kim has 34% of the vote. Chris Matthiessen has 20% of the vote. And then in the public safety race, Tim Cole has 53% of the vote. Kristen Dart has 26% of the vote. And Jim Montenegro has 20% of the vote.
And how many EDs is that?
That's 4 out of 25.
Okay, all right.
I just texted you, Clark. I'm sorry. Everyone here is trying to also get the numbers from me. Oh, let's see. I think Dan has something to say.
Hey,
Dan, can you hear us?
yes, Barry,
Okay.
they're getting some good results. And did you get my most recent one?
Yes. I'm gonna read
Robin,
something now.
keep me on, and I'm going to go up to the screen, which is hard to read, and see if I can get some more results.
So we have 8
I'm gonna
out of
send-
25.
I'm gonna send it to Safford's wedding. I'm gonna send it to
Can
Brandon.
you guys
Tell
you guys
Mike.
hear me?
Go ask Mike
Just
right now.
bumped
I'm
into
texting
Mayor
him.
Kim.
we have
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say we have 8 out of 25 districts reporting. In the supervisor race, Matt Beach has 36% of the vote. Michelle Madigan has 33% of the vote. Gordon Boyd has 30% votes. In the mayoral race, John Stafford has 42.9% of the vote. Ron Kim has 39.3%, and Chris Matthiessen has 17.8%. The Commissioner of Public Safety race, Tim Cole has 49.4% of the vote. Kristen Dart has 29%, and Jim Montenino has 21%. And again, that is with 8 out of 25 districts reporting, and total votes cast 3,172. Is that, I just lost everything. Well, that's all right. I'm going to keep reading these results that we just got in. So again, I have results from 8 out of 25 districts. In the supervisor race, Matt Beach has 36.7% of the vote. Michelle Madigan has 33.2% of the vote. Gordon Boyd has 30.2% of the vote. In the mayoral race, John Stafford has 42.9% of the vote. Ron Kim has 39.3%, and Chris Matthiessen has 17.8%. And then last, in the public safety race, Tim Cole has 49.4% of the vote. Kristen Dart has 29.1%, and Jim Montenino has 21.5%.
Where are you getting this from?
Sorry.
So
I've got lots of people who want to.
yeah, I know. We need a big live sign on it. So
Oh, thank you. I have the numbers from District 14 as well. So District 14, in the mayoral race, Ron Kim had 115 votes. John Stafford had 132 votes, which is actually surprising because that's a very heavily Democratic district. And Chris Matthiessen has 40 votes. District 14, public safety, Jim Montenino has 40 votes. Tim Cole has 138. And Kristen Dart has 104. In the supervisor race, Michelle Madigan has 151 votes, Matt Beach has 159, and Gordon Boyd has 134. And again, that is for District 14. So right now, we've got Matt Beach and Michelle Madigan in the lead for the supervisor position. We have Stafford at the top of the mayoral race. And we have Tim Cole leading the public safety race pretty handily.
wow.
Yeah, no.
Wow. So this is so. But I think I think a couple storylines is Dart is really performing. Tim Cole is doing what he thought he would do, and Safford is showing up.
Yeah, and I will say, Kristen Dart and Jim Montenino do seem to be splitting the Dem vote almost evenly.
Yeah. Now, like we talked about, we don't know if this included the Skidmore district. The Skidmore district it's going to come in with 100 votes, 150 votes that are going to go all Democratic. So, that could change, that could skew these, but.
In years past, actually, the Skidmore turnout has been significantly higher, 300 or 400 votes, but in the last 1 or 2 election cycles, that number has dropped down to about 100, 115. Again, so I have 9 districts out of 25 reporting so far. Let's see if we have any more info here. Well, waiting on more info, but let's see. Dan is not here.
Can Can you go over the last numbers for the
Yeah.
public safety?
The Commissioner of Public Safety, Tim Cole, has 49.4% of the vote. Kristen Dart has 29.1%, and Jim Montenino has 21.5%. And that's with 8 out of 25 districts reported.
Yeah. So I mean that I don't think we want to call it yet, but that looks pretty solid.
Oh no, we can't call anything. We're officially not calling anything. We've got a lot of districts still to report. Dan, do you have any new information from down at the party lots?
Guys, sorry if I'm interrupting you, but I can't hear a thing. I'm stepping out. They're here at Democratic headquarters. They have 10 districts is reporting. I don't know which ones. Robin, I heard you just read a bunch of results. How many districts were you reading from?
That was the 8 out of 25. So if you have 10, that would be new.
I can read you what the 10 what the results were with the 10. I don't have raw numbers, but I do have percentages.
All right.
That would be great.
Okay. Supervisor Veach at 36.5. Madigan 32.8, and Boyd 30 and a fraction, 30.7, I believe. Mayor is a pretty tight race, as you probably noted earlier, with John Safford at 43.4%, Mayor Kim at 39 even, and McKeeson seems to be holding at 17%. That's been consistent. Tim Cole, as we might have expected, seemed at least with the 10 out of 25. Keep in mind that's 40%. He has almost 50%. He has 48.3%. Dart and Montenino are 30 for Dart and 21 for Montenino. They're clearly what some predicted. They're splitting the Democratic vote, and that's the Tim Cole benefit.
I think I just got the numbers that you're looking at, Dan.
I'm sorry?
And yes, I think I just got the same numbers that you're looking at.
Okay.
And yeah, the kind of positions here seem to be holding. Matt Beach is still the highest vote getter, with 9 out of 25 districts reporting. Michelle Madigan is right in the middle with 32.9%, and then Gordon Boyd's at 31%. The mayoral race, as you said, John Safford has a small lead with 42.4% of the vote over Ron Kim with 40.1%, and Chris Mathieson at 17.5%. And then the public safety race, Tim Cole has 48.1% of the vote, Kristen Dart has 30.9%, and Jim Montenino has 21%.
Okay, yeah, we're working off similar pages. I have to interject something personal here. Adam, can you hear me? Robin Frozen. I have to interject something personal. I have to do a shout out and hello to my beautiful wife Margarita and my daughters Antonella and Valentina. Girls, I love you, but it's time to go to bed. So I have to do a shout
my
out.
God, I can't even describe what's going on in my house. I can't even think about it. Hopefully everyone's alive and fed. Fingers crossed.
Hi, Kasha. I don't. My wife gets so annoyed with politics. The last thing she wants to do is watch this right now. But I love you, honey, anyway. And in case you are watching,
I guilted Margarita into it.
Yeah.
All right, enough wife talk. Let's get back to the numbers, guys.
Okay.
So I think this is really interesting. I think that Ron Kim and John Safford being so close right now is a bit unexpected and really interesting. Same with public safety. Tim Cole has a pretty substantial lead of 18 points. So I mean, things are looking good for him. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Like I said, we're not going to call anything yet, but as far as numbers goes, those are pretty impressive numbers by well, it's impressive numbers by Dart that's leading to impressive numbers by Cole. Tim is really they're really splitting the votes. Hold on one.
So I'll go over those numbers again because I've lost my co-host here. So with 9 out of 25 districts reporting, Matt Beach is in the lead for the supervisor race with 36% of the vote. Michelle Madigan is in second place here with 32.9% of the vote. And Gordon Boyd is just under Michelle Madigan with 31% of the vote. In the mayoral race, John Safford is leading with 42.4% of the vote. Ron Kim has 40.1% of the vote, and Chris Matthiessen has 17.5% of the vote. And then the public safety race, Tim Cole is at 48.1%, Kristen Dart is at 30.9%, and Jim Montenegro is at 21%. So that's a substantial lead for Tim Cole in the public safety race. And it does appear that the two Democratic candidates are splitting that vote pretty, not quite evenly. Kristen is doing better than Jim, but it does seem to be to Tim Cole's advantage.
Mayor,
And one more time, request for the mayor stats again. John Stafford has 42.4% of the vote. Ron Kim has 40.1%, and Chris Matthiessen has 17.5%.
All right, Robin,
So,
and that's still with 10 districts reporting, correct?
yes. Yeah. So we are not even halfway there. We have 25 districts in total. I wish I had some more specificity on which districts these were that we're reporting, because that can be a really easy indicator of how the night's going. Sorry, I've got about 1 million people vying for my attention. 1 sec.
All right.
I'll give you one quick step.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So why Robin, don't forget to mute. While Robin hops off, I'll take the show. I think the story of the night is that Safford appears to be winning. And again, just how well Dart performing on a independent line. It's really a she had a ton of support. We were just talking about, there was a mayor in Buffalo who won on a write-in campaign, which I don't know. My goodness, what a Herculean effort that is.
Hey,
Dan has an update for us.
A little bit. What I got to say is, it's a subdued atmosphere here at the Parting Glass, where the Democrats are convening for the evening. Obviously Mayor Kim, at least in 11 of the districts so far, is slightly trailing. It's very close. It'd be better if we knew which districts they were, right? We can get a better read on it, but we don't. But it's my point is, there's a look of concern on some people's faces. Tim Cole is obviously having a good night. Matt Beach so far is in the lead. So it's my point, and then breaking in here is it's a subdued atmosphere here with a look of concern on some people's faces.
Yeah, conversely, I'm at the end of Saratoga with the One Saratoga group, and there's a lot of cheering and smiles in this room. So, contrary to the Parting Glass, people seem to be pretty optimistic here with the numbers that we're seeing, which of course do favor the One Saratoga candidate, and then John Safford.
How did I draw this straw? I didn't show up to the meeting, and you guys said, "Oh, by the way, you got the Dems."
Yeah.
I mean, if I'd known they were going to be at the Parting Glass, Dan, I would have reassigned.
There's a lot of people here. I did briefly meet with Kristen Dart, who I never met before. We shook hands and agreed to get coffee down the road. She was very pleasant to me. I appreciated that. I bumped into Mayor Kim. He was, sort of cordial, but obviously a lot of things on his mind tonight, so I'll give him a pass there.
Kristen, I think Kristen is just such an awesome, dynamic person, and I'm glad you got to meet her. She's terrific. Let's see what candidates I have here.
Okay, and I'm going to step back inside, see if I can get some results.
Yeah, let's go crunch some numbers.
Hey, Robin, you there? Robin.
Yeah.
So I just got word that District 25 came in, which skews Democratic, that the Republicans won. So District 25, with the Water's Edge district.
Oh yeah, that is. Well, that is typically heavily Republican area.
Yeah, I thought right. Somebody just whispered in my ear that it's been skewing Democratic, but actually I can tell you.
Yeah. So then, so
No,
it looks
so
like these
District
are going
20
to be. I think the mayoral race is turning out to be a real sweeper.
Yeah, District 25, Heidi got 42% of the vote. So if the Republicans pick that up, flip that, it's a big deal.
Oh, hey guys, I have more numbers. I have updated numbers. Okay, I've got 14 out of 25 districts reporting. I have for the supervisor race, Matt Beach in the lead with 35.4%, Michelle Madigan with 33%, and Gordon Boyd with 31.6%. In the mayoral race, John Stafford has 43.2% of the vote, Ron Kim has 40% of the vote, and Chris Matthiessen has 16.8% of the vote. In the public safety race, Tim Cole has 47.4% of the vote, Kristen Dark has 30.9%, and Jim Montenegro has 21.7%. And that is with 14 out of 25 districts. And a
That's how
total
many?
vote count of 5,076. 14 out of 25 districts reporting, and 5,076 ballots in total. So
right.
these the leads that basically Matt Beach has been leading consistently in the supervisor race. John Stafford has been leading by a little bit in the mayoral race, and Tim Cole is still enjoying a substantial lead in the public safety race.
What I find interesting here is these numbers are holding as we go
I
more and
know.
more districts. There really has not been much of a change for almost any of the candidates.
I know. It's very interesting to me as well. It seems to be trending pretty much the same across the districts. Well, I wish it had.
Hey, boss.
Yeah.
The news channel 10 camera was like falling over, but
Sorry, guys. We have like total chaos. I wish I could show people what's going on.
I'm going back inside, folks.
All right, Dan's going in.
Yeah. Okay, Dan's going.
I'm putting the gear on.
All right, Godspeed, Dan. Give us more numbers, buddy.
Hey,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Adam.
I was gonna say, oddly enough, my favorite reporter Wendy just came over and asked me for numbers.
She didn't. Oh,
Hey.
I
What do you think? Does Kim walk over to Safford and concede?
Oh, it's only 14 out of 25 districts. We're not there yet. But
Not concede. No. I guess my thought was did the lose? There's always controversy with that. Robin, you and I went over to the Democratic headquarters, and we shook the hand of I shook Juanita's hand, but not all candidates do that. But you're right. It's too early to call now, but it's just interesting. That was what. Go ahead.
The public safety race, I think that it would be very difficult to overtake Tim Cole's 17, almost 18-point lead.
Right, with less than half.
But yeah, we shall see. Again, I wish I knew exactly what districts have been reporting. But right now he's just been consistently enjoying 17 to 20% lead versus Jim and Kristen. So I think things are looking very positive. Dan, do you have anything new for us? All right, stand by, you guys. We're going to look for some new numbers. We'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. Adam, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to find out if Skidmore is reporting because.
Oh, wait, I have new numbers.
All right.
Okay, with 15 out of 25 districts reporting, Matt Beach is still holding the lead with 35.5%. Michelle Madigan is at 32.9%, and Gordon Boyd is at 31.5%.
That's
In the
getting
mayoral
closer.
race, John Stafford is the lead with 43.4%. Ron Kim has 40%, and Chris Mathieson has 16.6%. In the public safety race, Tim Cole has 46.4% of the vote, Kristen Dart has 30.9%, and Jim Montmino has 22.7%. And that is 15 out of 25 districts reporting, with 5,339 ballots counted.
Can you tell me the mayor? I missed the mayoral one.
Yes, John Stafford is in the lead with 43.4% of the vote. Ron Kim is at 40%, and Chris Mathieson is at 16.6%.
All right, and I got word that in those numbers that Skidmore did come in, so Skidmore has that could be a big bump for Ron Kim, but I'm getting word, and that would make sense because it being they only got 100 votes there. It's not a huge district. It might get 250. They would tally those quickly.
Also, you guys, the Board of Elections site has actually crashed. So anyone looking for numbers from the BUE site, I guess it crashed. It had so much traffic.
The Saratoga podcast.
Exactly. Saratoga podcast has got you covered. Should I read those numbers one more time for folks?
Sure, yep.
So 15 out of 25 districts are reporting. Matt Beach is in the lead for the county supervisor race with 35.5% of the vote. Michelle Madigan is in second place with 32.9%, and Gordon Boyd is at 31.5%. In the mayoral race, John Stafford is in the lead with 43.4% of the vote. Ron Kim has 40% of the vote, and Chris Mathieson has 16.6% of the vote. And then in the public safety race, Tim Cole has 46.4% of the vote. Kristen Dart has 30.9% of the vote, and Jim Montmino has 22.7% of the vote. We're seeing this same lead. I mean, the lead is not split positions here in terms of who's leading, who's in the middle, and who's rated last. Like, since we've been reporting these numbers, they've all stayed the same. Hold on, someone's trying to tell me something. One second.
There's Dan.
Guys,
sorry, people. I'm getting chastised for not reporting the numbers to the group here.
okay.
I'm like, listen, folks, I only have one set of hands. Anyhow, Dan, go ahead.
Guys, we're not we don't have the raw numbers, but I just did some quick math here, and Tim Cole looks like he's up like 900 votes. We have the percentages, we don't have the raw votes. My rough math is 900 votes.
I have new
Neither of
numbers.
his two opponents are going to overcome that.
Oh, we got new numbers, Dan. Hold on.
I've got new numbers. 17 out of 25 is reporting. Matt Beach is in the lead with 35.8% of the vote. Michelle Madigan is at 32.9%, and Gordon Boyd is at 31.3%. John Stafford is in the lead with 43.9% of the vote. Ron Kim with 39.4%, and Chris Mathieson at 16%. In the public safety race, Tim Cole has 47.5% of the vote. Kristen Dart has 29.9%, and Jim Montmino has 22.7%.
So I think we can call for Tim Cole.
I'm comfortable calling it for Tim Cole as well. I don't see how anyone could overcome that. Yeah. I'm gonna put that banner on.
Yep.
So the Saratoga podcast is going to make a prediction here that Tim Cole is poised to win the public safety race. That is simply because he has been up by almost 20 points, and we have 17 out of 25 districts reporting. And Kristen Dart and Jim Montmino do seem to be splitting this Democratic vote a bit. Kristen Dart's at 29% of the vote. Jim Montmino has 22% of the vote. And so at this time, I think it would be almost impossible to overcome that gap. So I feel pretty comfortable predicting that public safety goes to Tim Cole.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's a.
Should I tell him he's here? 5,700. He's in the lead with 47.5. Tim Cole is here, and if I can grab him, I will. So what we're predicting.
No, Tim's here. The Republicans. I just let him know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I also am noticing that the margin between John Stafford and Ron Kim is increasing a little bit. John Stafford's in the lead by about 4 points right now, with 43.9% of the vote versus Ron Kim's 39.3% of the vote.
Robin, let me ask you: how will mail-ins affect this race? Do we have an idea of how many mail-ins are out there? How they could skew?
We do. It depends how close these races end up. Going through the absentee ballots, may be necessary because we are looking at some pretty tight numbers, especially in the supervisor states. There's only 4 percentage points between Ford and Boyd at 31% and Matt Beach at 35%.
Yeah. That's we still have some races to be run here. You know what's interesting? We talked about the Democrats running Dart, and did they think she could win? But she certainly showed up, right?
Oh,
So it gives pause to think. Do they really think she could win? But even if she's not winning, by her showing up, what does this set her up for next?
I very much thought and have already done the city, the police department.
Oh, Robin, you're breaking up again.
Okay, sorry. Oh, here's what I can hear me now. Can you hear me?
A little bit, yeah. It could be all the background noise that's making you.
So, I wish I could go someplace else, but there's really here. Geyser Crest has not been counted yet. In the Geyser Crest typically lean, and so things are pretty good for John Stafford. Between the Geyser Crest has not been counted yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. On 1 second. I gotta look at this 1 second.
Dan, you there?
Okay, I'm waiting for more numbers, but what I'm hearing from the Democrats and from the folks at One Saratoga is that they think that John Stafford may pull this off, which would be a huge upset for the incumbent Mayor Ron Kim.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep. We can hear you. We've seen this city skew very left in school board votes, in the last city council votes. You got to think the third parties really played spoilers in these elections, but nonetheless, I think the Republicans feel very good about what they're doing here in their wins. If again, mayor's still contested, but
yeah. Right now, Stafford is in the lead for the mayoral race. At last count, there's about 4 percentage points between Ron Kim and John Stafford. But I think the feeling is that if, for example, Geyser Crest.
Hold on, I'm gonna try to hear.
So what I was saying is that if Geyser Crest hasn't reported yet, that truly is a pretty strong Republican district. all of Geyser Crest. And so that will likely increase the lead for John Safford over Ron Kim. This is all very surprising, by the way, because I think most people really felt pretty confident that Ron Kim was going to be able to hold on and win this race, but it's looking like that may not be the case. Dan, are you there? Dan, can you hear me? Dan? Oh boy, I'm all by myself. No worries. So I'm going to read the last numbers we have again. And this is 17 out of 25 districts reporting. In the supervisor race, Matt Beach has 35.8% of the vote. Michelle Madigan has 32.9% of the vote. And Gordon Boyd has 31.3% of the vote. In the mayoral race, John Safford is at 43.9% of the vote. Ron Kim is at 39.3% of the vote. And Kristen Thiessen has 16.9% of the vote. In the public safety race, Tim Cole has 47.5% of the vote. Kristen Dart is at 29.9%, and Jim Montemurro is at 22.7%. So we feel pretty comfortable calling the public safety race for Tim Cole. And the other two races, the mayoral race and the supervisor race, seem pretty tight, but there is, I'll tell you, in this One Saratoga room right now, which is pretty packed, the mood is very enthusiastic, very optimistic, and people are feeling really good about what they're seeing in terms of the One Saratoga candidates and winning. Dan, can you hear me? Dan? Nope. Dan? Adam, you're back. Adam, what you hearing?
Yeah, so I'm here. Geyser Crest is not in. The Republicans feel that Safford's up 350 votes with some positive, some good electoral districts left to come in. So there's a buzz here. It's kind of the opposite of what Dan's feeling at the Democratic Party. There's a lot of media's here. Oh, hold on one second. The media's talking to me.
Yeah, we have some comments I'll throw up there. Let's say Michelle Martin, I think about party being idiots. I hear that. Let's see. Bill Stagar says, "Oh, it's total hatred between Kim and Jim. This is a referendum on their behavior. Embarrassing." Bill, I totally agree with you on that. Totally agree with you. Let's see. Chaz wants to know, what are the results from Manita versus writing candidate Joanne Kernan? I do not know. When I have those results, I'll let you know, but I don't know. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yes, I put up a graphic. Oh, good. Hey.
I was multitasking 6 different ways with my website, Saratoga Report, and so forth. Robin, I heard you talking, and obviously Tim Cole with 21-25. Maybe you said this already. Projected easily winner. Safford is still ahead. It looks like he's running. People are leaving Democratic gatherings with long faces. There's no jubilation here. What are you telling me? Can we project John Safford as the winner?
I feel like I need a few more districts to come in to make that prediction, just because they are, only 3 or 4 percentage points apart. But it does look like John Safford is in pretty good shape. I will say that much. He's been in the lead consistently as these districts have been reporting back. And when Geyser Crest comes in, I would imagine that will increase. So I think, just to many people's surprise, probably, John Safford is here to potentially take home the race.
Yeah. Boy, this.
Dan, do you have any?
I'm going to go back up to the screen and see if I can get the latest results.
Yeah. Get in there, Dan.
I'm sitting here real quick, Robin. I'm going to scan my. You see, is the Safford's here interviewing with News 10? Cole's here shaking hands. Yeah. So the Republicans, I think, are feeling very good about how the results are coming in right now.
I'll try to show you in the Saratoga. It's pretty packed. People waving. I don't know if you can see it. It's very crowded, very noisy, a lot of excitement in there. That is for sure.
Yeah. Well, so let's get back to a close race right now with supervisor. So what are the latest numbers
yes.
we have on supervisor?
So the supervisor race has been the same kind of order since we began, but it is pretty tight. Matt Beach has 35.8% of the vote. Michelle Madigan has 32.9%, and Gordon Boyd has 31.3%. And of course, for the supervisor race, the two highest vote getters will win. So
go ahead.
I was just going to say, at this point, it looks like Matt Beach and Michelle Madigan are holding on to a narrow lead, but a lead nonetheless over Gordon Boyd.
Yeah, it does seem like Matt Beach will win, just being, that the top two get it and he has such a lead. What's really interesting to me is what we talked about in the beginning was the fact that Michelle being in the middle thought would give her a big runaway win, but it is a competitive race between her and Gordon Boyd. Now, Gordon had the backing of the Democrats in this city, the Democratic Committee, which are they have some weight behind them, but Michelle had the grassroots Democrats supporting her, and I think a lot of non-official party people supporting her, and she is putting up decent numbers.
Dan just texted us saying Joanne Yepsen is talking in the at the parting glass and saying that these numbers that we're seeing right now don't include early voting. So to me, that's usually something you say if you're a little bit worried about how your races are going.
I would agree. Yeah. You're trying to keep the spirit of the room.
Yeah.
There is.
Dan, any update in this? Yeah. Poor Dan's navigating the parting glass for us. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, I know. We got to get a runner next year.
Saratoga. My kids are almost old.
Yeah, I think you throw all of our kids together.
We need Ben.
I know.
Ben, I know he's in London. What are we gonna do?
I need better equipment. I need your headphones, and we just need better equipment.
Yeah. Does anyone want to invest in information in the upgrade our equipment? It's super loud for one of you guys.
Oh, that's me. They're getting the Republican.
So you got that did not include early voting, which is significant. Certainly for the Safford Ron Kim election would be in pretty razor tight. That's up in question now. Who got who had a better early voting effort, or did things just fall a certain way within early voting? Does it benefit the Republicans? Does it benefit the Dems? I don't know, but that does. I don't think that changes the public safety commissioner race at all. That's Tim Cole's winning by such a wide margin. I don't think there's anything that's going to change that, but it could change the supervisor races as well as the mayoral race, right? You guys agree?
I agree to an extent. I really want to see the Geyser Crest area come in and see what that does to these differentials. But typically people associate early voting with more Democratic voters vote early, and Republicans traditionally vote on election day. I don't know if that's a trend that continues to hold in 2023, but typically that's how people look at those early voting.
And also, John Safford's campaign really surged in the past 7 to 10 days, which means they were hitting less than 100% of the voters, because some may have received some of those ads, but they had already voted. So that potentially bodes well for Ron Kim.
Good point. Very good point. So, Dan, were you saying Joanne Yepsen was talking to the crowd about how these totals don't reflect early voting? Was that correct?
She grabbed me aside and told me that that they're updating their numbers. So I'm going to go back in. I'm going back in, and
get back in there.
And I'm going to try and get some updated numbers, because that's a significant omission in the tighter races.
Yeah, I agree.
And by the way, and it's pretty obvious, but I went on Saratoga Report. I did project Tim Cole as the winner officially on my website, Saratoga Report. I don't think that's such a stretch anymore. I was trying to do it 25 minutes ago when it still would have meant something, but then by then we were up to 21 districts, But clearly, I think we can all agree Tim is the going to be the winner at the end of the evening.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. I think, an almost 20-point spread is not overcomable at this point. So, so as many people predicted, Jim and Kristen did seem to split not evenly. Kristen came out a little bit on top on that split, but they did seem to split the Democratic vote pretty handily. Because the lead that Tim Poll has is fairly significant. In the latest numbers we had, Tim Poll had 47.5% of the vote, Kristen Dart had 29.9%, and Jim Montenegro had 22.7%. So, sorry, I'm chugging Coke over here to stay awake, Adam. No alcohol, just Coca-Cola, I might add. Oh, you're muted still, buddy.
There we go.
Yeah.
There's going to be 4 additional city council meetings after tonight, if my quick math is right. It's going to be interesting to see with Ron being lame duck. Well, again, it's not called yet, but especially with Jim being a lame duck public safety. How does that change? Do they still go after him like they did? Does he even show up? I mean, you got more numbers?
I do not have any more numbers yet. I'm waiting. Oh. Hopefully soon. I can't believe the BOE website crashed. Yeah. Maybe that could be a priority for the county supervisors. Upgrade the county website so it doesn't crash on election day. No?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully Dan's in there getting the scoop on the latest.
Yeah. Safford, I'm looking at Safford right now. He's giving an interview with News Channel 10. Here, hold on, I'll show you the interview's over, but you can see him there. I mean, he looks pretty confident. Yeah, I wish I could hear the interview. I don't. I'm sitting away from the Republicans, so I'm not getting their numbers. Right. But so I don't know what he knows that we might not know. But hold on one moment. Let me.
And by the way, Dalton children, I see you commenting. Get up, whatever you're watching, whatever platform you're on, and go to bed, Dalton children. Go to bed. All right, let's see what's going on. I'm going to reread the numbers, the latest numbers that I have, which, again, 17 out of 25 districts are reporting in these numbers. And the mayoral race, John Safford is in favor of 43.9%, Ron Kim with 39.3%, and Kristen Thiessen with 16.9%. The supervisor race, they're all within like a 4 to 5% margin. Matt Beach has 35.8%, Michelle Madigan has 32.9%, and Gordon Boyd has 31.3%. And then again, the public safety race, we've called at this point for Tim Poll. He has 47.5% of the vote. Kristen Dart at 29.9%, and Jim Montenegro is at 22.7%. So we feel comfortable calling that race for Tim Poll.
Yeah. So
I have to say, Adam, what's interesting? There has been Andrew Waite, who writes for the Daily Gazette, wrote a really interesting opinion piece about how the public safety race is really a referendum on Saratoga BLM. And the way he contextualized the 3 candidates, Kristen Dart was seen as the kind of endorsed by or connected to Saratoga BLM candidate. Jim Montenegro was contextualized as kind of the enemy of Saratoga BLM. And then Tim Poll was not involved in conversations. He was kind of like the neutral candidate. And so, I think staying above the fray. Can you hear cheering over there?
Yeah, it's fun. They put up the people here. This is funny. They're watching an interview with Jim Montenegro. And they're watching it, and they're cheering Jim Montenegro.
Oh, well, I mean.
Yeah, so they have a new local news channel up, and they were showing an interview with Jim, and they were showing clips of Ron losing his cool at City Hall.
Oh, geez.
And so I think that cheer was for Jim Montenegro. That's what you were hearing. But anyway, going back to the referendum, though, here's the thing. I don't think this solves anything. And you know why? Because if this is a referendum on Democrats and Black Lives Matter, all it says is that Democrats are split, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't say if you had a Dart v. Cole election, would you know how much of Jim Montanino's votes were because simply he was on the Democratic line, and how many of his votes were because he stood up to BLM? I don't know.
Wait a minute, Dan here. Dan, do you have an update?
Yeah, a little bit. I got some numbers, and also the room in there is pretty dismal. Dylan Moran was just trying to fire people up. He's trying to get energy in the room. People are on the phone. I overheard one Democratic insider say, "We're not surprised." So it seems, it feels. I'm not saying he did, but it feels like Ron Kim lost tonight. At least measuring the vibes in the room.
Yeah, and measuring the vibes at the One Saratoga event at Saratoga. People are extremely enthusiastic. There's a lot of smiles. I think the mood is extremely positive. They're thrilled with the Tim Cole. Oh, you guys there?
I am.
Sorry, did I jump out for a minute? I think the atmosphere is really positive. They're very happy with the news about Tim Cole, who is of course the One Saratoga candidate, and I think they're happy to see how these numbers have been trending because they've stayed pretty consistent throughout the night.
Yeah. Didn't we have District 14 early? I think that's the one district they're missing here.
Yeah.
I do have updated results. If you have District 14, they actually Sarah Berger just asked me if we have 14.
I do have the numbers for District 14 actually.
They can't say the first ones to come in, if I recall.
Oh yeah, I have them here. I mean, if you want them. For public safety, Jim Montanino got 40 votes. Tim Cole had 138, and Kristen Dart had 104. In the mayoral race in District 14, Ron Kim had 115 votes. John Safford had 132, and Chris Mattison had 40. In the supervisor race, Michelle Madigan had 151 votes. Matt Beach had 159, and Gordon Boyd had 134. So still follows that same pattern.
These numbers have barely budged in an hour. Let me or at least the percentages. The numbers budge, but not the percentages. I've got 24 of 25 districts. Again, not counting early voting apparently, although I don't know that for a fact. If you want, I'll read them off.
24 out of 25.
Yeah.
All right, hit us with some numbers.
Okay, supervisor Veach at 35.2, Madigan 33.2, Boyd, they got us in this funky blue color, 31 and a percentage, 31 something. Mayor Safford at 43.2, Kim at 39.9, Mattison at 16.9. Public safety, Cole at 47.2, Dart 29.9, Montanino 22.9. Dart has clearly outpolled Jim Montanino, but obviously a distant second to the projected winner, Tim Cole.
So, and that was 24 out of 25 districts reporting?
Yes. Apparently, and I don't know how accurate this is, apparently without early voting, but I don't know that. I don't know that. Robin, how many vote roughly in a city election? What's the total number?
I can put that number up for you right now.
Okay.
That's the voter turnout over the last 2 years.
Then that makes sense that this does not include early voting because we're not even at 7,000 yet.
All right, can you guys hear? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, we can.
All right, so this is roughly what I have. 22 out of 25 districts have reported. Safford has a 500 vote lead. There are something like 350 absentee ballots out there. Out of that, they skew maybe 2/5 Democrat, 1/5 Republican, 2/5 NOPs. So essentially, the feeling here is that Safford won, but it's still just a little too close to call. So
guys, over here, Matt Beach there's a big round of applause. I think Matt Beach has secured his another term as Saratoga County Supervisor. Hey, Matt, can you come here for a sec? gonna try to drag him in for a second here. So, there he is. It looks like you are the highest vote. Congratulations. You ready for another 2 years?
I'm ready for another 2 years.
That is
I'm so
fantastic.
grateful.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. Matt Beach will be a supervisor for another term. Matt Beach. Hold on, sorry. I can't stop.
There's a certain again, we don't know if Ron Kim lost the election or not, but if he did, how remarkable is that both Kim and Montanino could have continued on had they been able to get along this year?
I think, if there's 350 absentee ballots and Stafford's in the lead by 500 votes, I mean,
With 2 districts left, yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's looking pretty good for John Stafford. I'm
Yeah.
shocked. This is a big upset if John Stafford pulls this off. I mean, a really big upset.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
it's kind of a perfect storm. You had, I think, the Mayor Kim and the Democrats just they really just made a lot of self-inflicted wounds. They did a lot of dumb things, and you have that coupled with a spoiler, right? So you had a perfect storm of really, the city losing its insurance. That's
Yeah.
huge. You have taxes being raised twice in 2 years. You have you have CSEA calling City Hall a hostile workplace. These are huge problems, and you have that coupled with a spoiler in there, and Chris Matthiessen and Kristen Dart, and it was a perfect storm for 2 Republicans to get in.
And if John Stafford did ultimately win tonight, hats off to him and the Republicans. Wow, this is gonna go from Lake Erie to Long Island. That is gonna be big news.
Yeah. I agree. It's gonna be.
I gotta say, I also think it's going to be really interesting to see the city council dynamic. I mean, when the 4 city council members were lobbying so hard for Kristen Dart to be their public safety commissioner, and now Tim Pool has won. I hope they're able to establish a positive relationship with him.
Yes, the dysfunction, as we may be seeing tonight, serves nobody.
Phil just walked in the room here, so there's big applause happening. Big applause. Yeah, I'll show you what's going on. Eileen Sitter is clapping. Tim may say a few words right now. All right, so as we predicted a little while ago, I've lost track of time. Tim Pool has won the public safety commissioner race. He will be our next public safety commissioner. So big congratulations to Tim. And we also know that Matthew Beach will be again serving as our county board of supervisors, but we are still waiting on the other supervisor spots we called. That would be between Gordon Boyd and Michelle Madigan. Michelle Madigan has held on to a small but consistent lead as these districts have come in. So it's looking pretty positive for her, but I don't want to call it until everything's in, because they're just a little too close together, you know?
I get it.
Yeah. Any more? So you had 24 out of 25. Can you repeat those percentages for us one more time?
I don't have them in front of me. I've got 10 screens going here. Give me a minute, and I'm going to go back in. Robin, why don't you give me 2 minutes? I'll go back in and get see if I can get 25 out of 25.
You got it. All right, okay. Stand by, folks. We're crunching numbers. We'll be right back.
You can pull that open. Give it a good hard. And
So are you? Yeah, she is finally. So I think that was the rec center.
Sorry, Dan.
All
Adam,
right.
anything
Hey,
from over,
hey guys. Hey guys.
Yes.
Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah.
I'm ready to call it. John Safford will be the next mayor of Saratoga Springs. He's up
Wow.
Are
500.
you sure?
He's up 568 votes with just District 10 to come in and the absentee ballots. So unless District 10 is some crazy, can you tell us what District 10 is, Robin?
Yes, I can. Let's get our little map out. Okay, there's our map. District 10 is, where are you? 10?
But
Oh,
let's
yeah,
face
that
it.
is so. Right there. I don't, you guys, it's.
I could say District 10 last year or 2001 was a basic split. It was a 50-50 split. So I think we can call it for John Safford for the next mayor of Saratoga.
You guys, this is a wild upset. A wild upset. I do not think. I mean,
Yes,
wow,
I
right?
agree. Are we premature here?
Adam, will you go over those numbers
Are we
again?
premature in that Ron Kim, will he concede tonight, and will there be a battle going forward? And don't forget.
Adam, did we lose you?
What's that?
Let's go. Adam, can you go over the numbers again and why
Sure.
you're predicting that John Stafford wins?
Sure. John Stafford has his lead is 568 votes. Okay. The only district left to report is District 10. District 10 basically split between Heidi. I think Heidi got 49% of the votes.
Yep.
So 568, one district left, and absentees. So there's no. We're very confident in saying that John Safford will be the next commissioner of mayors, the next mayor of Saratoga Springs.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at District 10 right now. It abuts the town of Malta. And I think your rationale there for predicting John Stafford win holds up.
Oh, Michelle Madigan. Here, this is the tight race right now. Michelle Madigan has a 300 vote lead on Gordon Boyd with District 10 to come in. Now, again, that seems insurmountable, but it's not. But with Safford having nearly twice the lead that Michelle has, I'm not ready to call that one yet.
Yeah, I have I think I have the supervisor numbers from last year or 2 years ago to get a sense of how. Two pieces of paper. To get a sense of how District 10 voted for the supervisors. Do I? Sorry, guys. I thought I had District 10 from last year, or last election. I do not. But a close race. But I mean, I think as we've seen the numbers trending all night, it's been consistently Matt Beach as the top vote getter, Michelle Madigan is the middle vote getter, and Gordon Boyd is the lowest vote getter. That's what we've seen throughout this whole evening, with 24 out of 25 districts reporting.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of praise, guys. Thanks for keeping us up to date with results. You're welcome, Jill. Tiger says maybe some reform back to the council. Wouldn't that be lovely? I quite agree. Oh, you guys, we're getting so many nice comments. People watching from Italy. International viewers.
Buongiorno.
This has been it's just kind of a wild thing. So what's the atmosphere? You saw
The atmosphere is it's very jubilant here.
Yeah.
John Safford is working the room, shaking hands, taking a lot of pictures. There's a lot of smiles here. It was quite he had a quite an impressive campaign team. There's 3 or 4 guys sitting on computers and phones. Mike Brandy, the head of the Republican Party, is there in the center of them all, working phones. They're just making sure all their I's are dotted and their T's are crossed. But I think with all that being said, I think I might pack up and head over to the end of Saratoga to congratulate the winners over there. The only race outstanding, I think, is the supervisor race that I don't think we're ready to call. We're calling it for Beach. We're not ready to call it for Madigan yet. When we can, we'll post it online. And I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'm losing my voice. I'm losing the power on my phone.
Why don't you come over to the end of Saratoga? I will keep chatting, and hopefully Dan will come back with some final updated numbers.
Keep it going until I get there. Yep.
All right. I'll do what I do best.
All right, Robin. See you soon.
So, as Adam was referring to, we have some that we can project already. Let's see here. So far, we are predicting John Stafford is predicted to win the mayoral race in an upset against incumbent Mayor Ron Kim. That Beach wins the supervisor spot, and he will be going back to serve another term at the County Board of Supervisors. He's been the highest vote getter in that category. Gordon Boyd trails Michelle Madigan by about 300 votes, but we're not quite ready to call that race. It's a little too tight. And then, as we mentioned, Tim Cole has won the Public Safety Commissioner race. He will be our next Public Safety Commissioner. He won with a significant margin of about 17 or 18 points over Kristen Dart and Jim Montnino. Kristen Dart was around 29.9% of the vote, and Jim Montnino was about 22% of the vote. So that was a pretty decisive victory there for Tim Cole. They are amping up the music at the end of Saratoga. I think I hear the Rocky theme song happening. That is the Rocky theme song. Pretty reflective of the mood. It's very upbeat, very celebratory over here. And this is such a nice thing. Let's see. Jazz Tulin says, speaking of people watching from other places, I want people to know that our former city attorney, Peter Tulin, is safe where he is in Israel, and I'll probably be giving him election results at 2 a.m. Peter Tulin was the city attorney for quite some time in Saratoga Springs, and we hope he's doing well, and I'm going to be updated about tonight's results. So thank you for that update. I appreciate it. We've got lots of comments in here. Lots of other websites have been crashing. WTEN's website crashed. I guess there are a lot of people who are super interested in these results, understandably. Oh, let's see. Hold on. I think I have Dan. Dan, are you there?
Hey, Robin. Yes.
What do you got?
Well, Ron Kim and Kristen Dart just made speeches. Kristen was an acknowledgement, a concession that she lost, and she said some things. She hoped Tim can be a unifier and not be. And I didn't quite catch the rest of it. Ron Kim said it's too close to call, and I talked to another Democratic operative inside, and he said, obviously there may be some denial here, but he said, listen, this is too close. The Times Union is putting Ron ahead. These numbers, we don't know if they're early voting. We got to let the Board of Elections sort this out. And again, that may be he's in denial, but that did seem to have some credibility to it because it is pretty close, and there are some questions out there.
Yeah, I think, do you recall, Dan, the percentages you had? I think John Stafford was up by maybe 4% from the count that you gave us when 24 out of 25 districts were reporting. Dan the man?
Yeah. Yes.
Can you hear me?
That seems accurate.
Yeah. So.
Yes, I can.
There was one. Okay, sorry, keep going, Dan.
Okay,
Still
Robin.
there?
I mean, people are leaving here. This gathering
Already
is
over?
dying down, and people are leaving. So I'm going to come over by where you guys are in 5 or 10 minutes.
All right. I will see you shortly, Dan. I guess the whole Saratoga podcast crew is going to converge where I am, which I like. I like it that way. They come to us. It sounds like the Democrats of the party class are dispersing, going home. Probably some disappointment there over tonight's results. And conversely, the Inn at Saratoga is bumping. There's a DJ playing and lots of balloons and celebrating going on over these numbers. So, very exciting night for the One Saratoga candidates, for John Stafford. Ron Kim has made a speech saying it is too close to call the mayoral race. There is probably some merit there when you talk about early voting, absentee ballots. So that is understandable. Wow, now it's just me. Let's see here. Do you have any other comments? Okay. We have lots of people watching from all over. Jim Cullen, I'm a former resident of Saratoga and hopefully future resident soon, watching from Sandusky, Ohio. I lived in Saratoga in the 80s when Jones was there. Jim, thank you for watching, and we hope you come back. Let's see. The Times Union is reporting Kim with a 47 vote lead. I'm going to be totally honest and tell you that I don't entirely trust the Times Union reporting. They show such a significant bias in their coverage of Saratoga city politics that I would not, I don't know, bet any money on what they're predicting. Let's see. Trying to see, I think we had another candidate just walk in here. I'm going to stand by for a minute, guys, and see if I can get this last district information so we can have 25 out of 25 districts reported. Stand by. I will be back. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap things up pretty quickly. The consensus at the One Saratoga party and over at the Republican event is that John Stafford has pulled off this win in the mayoral race. Ron Kim has made a speech saying the numbers are too close to call, and obviously absentee ballots and early voting will be factored in. But I believe the lead John Stafford had was about 500 votes. So it would be a significant number for Ron Kim to overcome with early voting and absentee ballots, etc. So again, the Republicans feel very confident that John Stafford has won this, and also Matt Peach has won again another term as a supervisor at the County Board of Supervisors. He's been the highest vote getter of the night in that supervisor race. Michelle Madigan leads by about 300 votes over Gordon Boyd. So we're not calling that a little too close, but Michelle has been maintaining that lead throughout the night. Let's see. Oh, Mike Brandy, who is the head of the Saratoga Springs Republican Committee, I guess is addressing the room and said Stafford won by a landslide and a mandate. So again, the Republicans very confident that John Stafford has pulled this off. It is quite the upset. I will say it has been well over a decade since a Republican candidate has won the mayoral position. I think the last mayoral candidate we had was Republican, like Scott Johnson. Yeah, so it's been Patrick Carr wants to know, has the 25th district reported? Yes, I believe the only district we were waiting on was district, 25th, you mean like the 25 out of 25? No, we're waiting on that one additional district, as far as I know. The last update I got was 24 out of 25 districts reporting. So again, I'm just going to go over this really quickly. Tim Cole will be our next public safety commissioner. He won with a decisive, almost 20-point lead over his two competitors, Kristen Dart and Jim Martino. And then John Safford appears to be in the lead for the mayoral race. The Republicans feel strongly he has won. Ron Kim has said, absentee ballots, early voting ballots need to be counted first. Matt Beach has been the highest vote getter in the supervisor race, and so he will win one of those two spots. Michelle Madigan is holding a lead of about 300 votes over Gordon Boyd. Okay, I'm actually being summoned away. I have to go, but again, we'll say it appears John Safford has won the mayoral race. He has not conceded yet. He wants to have all the absentee ballots and early voting ballots counted, understandably, but John Safford is up by about 500 votes. Tim Cole has won the Commissioner of Public Safety race, and Matt Beach has won another term as county supervisor. Michelle Madigan is up by about 300 votes over Gordon Boyd. So that is a little too close for us to call. And so basically what I'm going to do, guys, is leave you for a moment and wait in that last district to report. Oh, speeches are happening. I will be